Howdy folks, SheyGrell here. Got a few things to talk about and some big news to give you, but I'm going to make this as short as possible so that it's as easy as possible for poor old Isaac to render. Yep, still waiting for all of those parts to turn up. Nearly got them all, so an upgrade isn't too far away. But there's a little more to it than that. Allow me to explain, and this is going to sound quite idiotic. Probably. So even when those parts arrive, I still will be a bit delayed in actually upgrading things. Now, keep in mind that Isaac, my current PC, he's not in a very good way. The hard drive is now producing disk write failures. He keeps shorting out if I run too much at a time or even try and play too much of a demanding game. He can't open some of the programs I've got on here, and of course, he's just pretty slow nowadays. But there is a very simple fact here that stops me from just regarding him as a mere machine. Isaac is responsible for literally every piece of content you have seen from me to date. He's been around for a while. If you ask me, he's actually outlived his life expectancy as well. Despite the amount of shortcomings he has with the problems he faces right now, he doesn't deserve to be just discarded. That's why I've made the decision to render the Halloween special before I upgrade. Don't get me wrong here, I know that I would only benefit from just putting in the new parts that I have now. Well, except for the fact that I don't have a good enough heatsink yet and my CPU is probably gonna melt. But the simple fact of the matter is that Isaac has seen me through so much now, I can't just ignore that. If he truly is going to expire, and I have more than enough of a feeling that he is going to, and soon, then I am giving him one hell of a send-off. And now that we've actually mentioned all of that, let's talk about the plan that's ahead. Okay, so as I just mentioned, I'm working on a Halloween special here. The plan is that I'm going to be taking the majority of this month off to work on that. Believe me, when you see it released, you'll know a lot of work went into this. Seriously. However, if I manage to finish that and have time to kill before the 31st, then I will happily make something like an episode of Narrative Reel. Honestly, I am kind of aiming to be done before the end of the month. So yes, please know that while there isn't going to be much content from me until a later date, I am not just sitting around doing nothing. Also, just something else I'd like to address: what happens after the Halloween special? It's simple. Straight back on track with Narrative Reel, while in the background I'll be working on an episode of Voice Reel. So now you all know stuff is going to be happening. After the very embarrassing episode of just having a bit of a burnout, I really want to do all I can to sort of prove that this is not just another episode of quote-unquote going through the motions. Christ, there's been enough drama as it is. But let's get as far away from that as possible with some good news. Are you ready for this? As of yesterday, I am officially a free man from the job center. I'm no longer signing on. Oh god, next month's gonna be rough. In all seriousness, I could be doing this on much worse terms, so I am quite happy to tell you this. But it also means I am well aware I have to get in gear in order to give people a reason to think that I'm worth investing in. Despite that, I'm just going to ask, by the off chance, don't worry, I'm not trying to force this down your throat or anything. This is not obligatory. If there's any chance at all that you'd be willing to pledge on Patreon or just make a little PayPal donation, as I say, I'm not expecting anything, especially when I'm kind of absent right now. But just know that if there's any chance you'd be willing to, thank you very much. It's incredibly helpful, it means a lot, and it'll go on things like extra equipment and of course a little bit to the side for when I need it. And of course, you will be mentioned in the credits of the next video. There's already been about 3 or 4 donations through there, and I cannot thank you enough. Anything I get to do from this point onwards is solely because of you guys and gals. To the people who have already donated and pledged. And before you might think I'm just trying to make you feel bad because you might not have done so, you are one of my following. Without a following, I haven't really got anything, have I? There are many new subscribers that have turned up recently, and thank you, all of you. After going through another little episode that I honestly have tried to contain as quickly as possible, I want to make your subscription worth the time. Please bear with me while I come up with something special for all of you. And just one last little side note that I'd like to share. Seems like a lot of people have enjoyed my Undertale video, which is good because I really would like to do another one or two of those. But if you just want to hear me in something else, then a fellow by the name of BrianRandomVA has actually put together a little comic dub, and I'm in it. Go check that out. Show the guy some support. Please. Okay, that just about covers everything. This video has gone on for a while now. But here is one last thing that I wish to announce. Since I don't comment on here due to Google Plus being lame and all that, there are a couple of other ways in which you can talk to me. But the one I'd like to highlight here is my Twitter. I have this thing where I respond to people's comments on here via that. Yours might already be on there. Why don't you stop by and check it out? And of course, it is a chance to speak to me if you wish to do so. Anyway, that's that. Back to work. Thank you for your time. Until the next video, folks.